Murray State head coach Dean Hood, the Racers, coming off a loss against rival Austin Peay in their second OVC game. They're going to travel to Tennessee State. They'll be playing at Nissan Stadium, homecoming for TSU this weekend on Saturday, 5 p.m. Central Time. So, Coach, just some thoughts on your team, and then we'll go into some questions.
Yeah, had a rough one against Austin Peay. I thought Coach Walden and his staff really did a nice job. It was just we hung in there first half. Second half was, just a thorough butt whipping, and got out coached, got outplayed, and got to regroup because we're facing a team that's as hot as anybody in OVC right now. 3 straight OVC wins, and just doing a great job. So it's going to be a big challenge for our guys to bounce back.
Thanks, Coach. We'll go to some questions. John, if you'd like to start us off.
Dean, John Wright, Ledger and Times. I think Saturday was probably about as tough a day as you've had so far here at Murray State. Have y'all seen anything in reviewing the film that gives any ideas as to what happened?
No. I mean, there were some schematic things, but that was that's kind of the mind-boggling piece. Is we had a huge letdown at UT Martin, and when you watch the film, you saw some things where wasn't a lot of excitement on the sideline, where we felt like guys weren't running as hard as they possibly could. Drop balls, that sort of thing. There were some undisciplined, penalties in this game as far as defensive offsides and some of those things. But it was different. Our kids were flying around. They were hustling. There was energy on the sideline. It was a different deal. When you watch the film to try to figure out, how and why we played so bad.
In those film sessions, what are you getting from the players as they watch this unfold?
That's the encouraging part about our guys. And again, it's we're all in this together. There was plenty of coaching errors, myself included, to go around. So it's not just the kids. It's we got to do a better job coaching. They got to do a better job, executing. And it's not what we're doing, it's how we're doing it. But there was no denying the, hey, yep, coach, I was in the wrong gap, or yep, you told me to do this and I didn't, when the time presented itself. So that's the really encouraging thing, is our guys are shouldering the responsibility of their mistakes, and our coaches are doing the same.
Dean, this is now two times this season where a team has had a week off before they played you, and man, it just didn't go too well. Are these other teams, are they finding holes in y'all and just exploiting them, or what?
Well, I mean, that's going to happen 3 more times, which is I've never heard of anything in 35 years of coaching that you had more than one team have an open date, prior to you playing, and we're going to have 5 of them, and they're all conference games. So, we're not making an excuse, with that. We're just going to prepare and go. And I know that there's been times where, teams have an open date and, can't get, restarted, have a slow first half just because you kind of got out of rhythm. I've seen it go against you, seen it go the other way. So, we're just gonna play on and put the onus on us. But there's definitely some things when you watch the film that was able to get accomplished with a little extra time.
Let's talk about Malik and talk about Preston. How are they looking for this week?
Preston's look. Preston was better yesterday than he's been in the last couple of weeks. I mean, the last couple of weeks he couldn't even throw the ball. So he was looking more like himself yesterday in practice. Malik was really slow. He's a tough kid, a veteran guy that's been through a lot of, nicks and bangs and bruises and all that kind of stuff. So we're hoping to get him back, hoping as the week goes, it gets a little bit better.
What was it Malik had? Was it an ankle, or was it an upper body? I couldn't tell.
Yeah, it's in the hip. He's got a hip pointer that's he's kind of working through, and those things are painful. It's a couple of those injuries that it doesn't sound too like a big deal. Turf toe, hip pointer, those kind of things don't sound very very like, real bad injuries, but they're pretty painful. And, sometimes they take a little bit of time.
Preston, did he get hurt against Martin?
No, he was hurt way before that. Preston, I believe he got hurt in the second half of BG, and he's just such a tough kid. He's kept trying to go. Really, Martin is where we got, as a coaching staff, kind of got exposed to, hey, he just can't, do it anymore right now. We got to give him some time off. We got to try to do something different. That was kind of the get exposed game of him trying to tough it out and keep playing just because of who he is.
Then I would assume DJ is probably going to get the start this week. This past week with Austin P was a bad experience, of course, coming off a tremendous performance with SEMO. What do you do to get his confidence back up this week?
Really, DJ played pretty well. I mean, he had a pick that was, kind of a tip ball, but really thought he did some good things. Not as good as his first outing, but I still thought he played, fairly well as far as getting the ball where it needed to be, making the right checks, making good decisions. To pull the ball down and run and use his legs to get some positive yards. I still thought he had a decent game.
Okay. A couple of off-topic things here. Saturday, y'all had a first running through the starting gate, and haven't got a chance to ask you about that. How was that experience for you guys following the horse?
That's the best thing we did all day.
Is that something y'all look forward to doing for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really good for our guys. I think it's good for our fans. I think it's fits with who we are, being the racers. I mean, there's not we used to be called the thoroughbreds, and shorten that to the racers, and there's not a whole lot of mascots that that's who they are, a race horse, that. So I think it's fits, and there was a lot of people involved in making that thing happen. Very, very, very blessed. A lot of people that put their hands in there and got to work and really, really helped us with that thing.
Tennessee State, what are they doing right that's gotten them on this streak right now?
They're doing a great job coaching. I mean, it's an all-star cast, with Coach Eddie George as the head coach, and then Jeff Fisher's son Brandon is the D coordinator, and Hugh Jackson is the offensive coordinator, who's been a head coach in the National Football League. So they're guys that are veteran guys at the highest level, know what they're doing, and structurally, they're very, very sound. The kids are playing hard. They're on a hot streak, right now with 3 straight wins, and they're very talented. Tennessee State's always been, if not the most talented, right up there with the most talented team in our league every, year after year.
I would figure with a guy like Eddie George as the head coach, the running game would be emphasized very heavily, but apparently they throw the ball quite a bit.
Well, they do, but number 3 is arguably the best back in our conference. He's a heck of a runner, and I think he's got 600 or 800 yards already this season, and he's a lot to contend with. But their Q, he can throw it and he can run it too. I think he's the second leading rusher in the on their team. He is. I just look at the stats. He's got 49 attempts, and Devon Starling's got 135. So he can run it and throw it, and he's got guys to throw to. I mean, their tight end is really, really good, 85. They got some guys in the wide receiver spots, 1 and 5. 5's an excellent special teams guy, punt returner, kick returner. He's a scary dude. And their kicking game is really, really good. Their field goal kicker is probably not as hot as he, was in the spring, but he's still a, big time guy, and so is their punter. So, they're a complete team.
I don't know what kind of crowd they're going to have down there on Saturday, but tell me about, are your guys getting excited about playing in an NFL stadium?
I haven't really talked about that. To them, it's kind of been having this NFL motif, played on Sundays. Always wanted to play on Sundays, and so we did that in the spring, and now we're going to go play at NFL stadium. So we're staying right along with that NFL theme.
Of course, early in your first game of the season, y'all had a college football Hall of Famer, Willie Totten, come here from Mississippi Valley State. Now on the other sideline, you're going to have Eddie George of Tennessee Titans fame, Hall of Famer also. You just never know what you're going to run into as a college football coach, do you?
Yeah, you never know. I'm just glad I don't have to tackle
him. Also, one last thing, I want to piggyback on what the guy from Austin P was talking about last week with Tim Corbin. You gonna be able to go down and see Tim this week, going to Nashville?
Well, I've never really, played a lot of games, down there. I've never really contacted Corbs. I'm kind of busy, and so I've only just contacted him when I've been down there for the OVC meetings, before COVID and the Zoom era, because that was more downtime as far as being able to get away. So never have, but he's a good man.
Can you go back over how y'all first met and what y'all's history was again?
Well, Corbs was we went to college together at Ohio Wesleyan, and he was a great baseball player, but he played football, in high school too, I think, and wanted to be around the guys. So he was our team manager, and because he was such a great guy, all of our players, all of my teammates on football, when he had a baseball game, we'd all go watch Corbs play. So got really close, kind of bonded the football and baseball teams, and then college gets over with, and you lose track of people. And
yeah,
I was at Wake Forest and took my 1-year-old son to his first baseball game. Was Wake Forest versus Clemson, and I saw this guy coaching third base for Clemson. I'm like, my God, that looks like Tim Corbin. So in between innings, he was running, off the field, and I said, "Hey, Corbs," and he turned around and said, "Hood, what are you doing here?" I was like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" So we kind of reconnected, exchanged numbers after that, and kind of stayed in touch after that moment.
At Ohio Wesleyan, you were a quarterback, was it?
No, I played safety.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure I got all that straight, because you never know. If I have a off day, I may try to whip out this story for our readers, because these are interesting stories, and you've had a tremendous history with, dealing with folks we know.
Yeah, I've been blessed.
Coach,
that is all I have.
Thanks, John. Coach, thanks for your time this morning. Best of luck this week, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Okay, thanks.